Hello everybody, before we start the video, I just want to give a quick thanks to my gracious and generous supporters over on Patreon, to Anime Guy 01, Bookworm, Danish Faye, and Tommy Koistinen. Thank you so much for your continued support, and if any of you want to support me as well on my Patreon account, there's a link to it in the description below. Now, enjoy the video! Hello everybody, it's JohnnyFerno talking, and welcome to a series of videos I have been looking very much forward to start reacting to. Ever since BronyCon, where I met the wonderful pair of Lost Leonardo and Magpie Pony, and actually attended their Pinkie Tales panel, where I got to be a part of one of the small skit reenactment things. I have been much more inspired and looking very much forward to watching Pinkie Tales, because I have actually never really heard of it before, like a couple of months before freaking BronyCon. Sorry, brain a bit tired. But so what do I know about Pinkie Tales? Well, I know that Pinkie Tales is about pretty much old fairy tales being retold by Pinkie. That is much as far as I've gotten. But fun thing is that this first one, I assume it's the first one, the Alicorn and the Pea, which is of course based on the fairy tale The Princess and the Pea, I believe it's called. It's called Pinkie Tales Discord Tales. So I guess it started out as Discord, but then turned over to Pinkie? I don't know, I haven't even watched the video yet, so I don't even know anything. But if you're ready, my dear friends, and Magpie, if you're watching this, I hope you're going to enjoy this. This reaction. So, if you're ready, my dear friends, let us start watching Pinkie Tales Discord Tales, the Alicorn and the Pea. In 3, 2, 1, go. Oh.
Discord Tales, the Alicorn and the Pea.
So I guess it started out as Discord Tales.
Well, well, well. Look who decided to come crawling back.
Well, they are babies, Discord.
Aww.
Irony is not lost upon me, my dear. As I was saying, I knew it was only a matter of time before you little ponies realized my superior storytelling prowess
really,
and
Discord?
begged for me to return.
Or
Is that so?
Pinkie Pie caught a cold and needed some pony to fill in, so I volunteered, and Discord practically begged me to come along.
What was that?
Nothing. Please continue.
Why, thank you.
Oh, why thank you, my
I
dear.
shall humbly reclaim my storytelling throne, but only this once. Next
Discord
time
is the
I shan't
best
be so easily
storyteller.
swayed for your
I'll shut up.
pony pleasure.
I can't help but do my own Discord
You're
voice.
too kind, Discord.
Tonight's
All right.
tale will be...
Tell us a story,
Let's see.
Grandpa Discord.
Aha! The Alicorn and the Pea. And told by the best storybook reader you've ever heard.
Pinkie Pie.
That's a strange pronunciation for Unky Discord. No matter.
Unky Discord. I love it.
Once upon a time.
Alright, tell us.
In the distant land of Topsy-Turvia, there lived a regal, benevolent, chaotic, and devilishly handsome queen.
Oh, woe is me! For I, the queen of this land, have searched high and low for a suitable alicorn to wed my beloved son, the prince. But alas,
I'm already in love.
no such true alicorn can be found.
And the
Sunset.
first 4 alicorns didn't count because...
The queen's advisor asked, levitating a parchment with her magic that contained the names and faces of 4 famous alicorns, all having been crossed off by the queen.
Too old, too overly saturated by the fandom, too pink, and too OCD. No Starlight Sparkle, this will
Valid
never
reasons?
do.
The queen said, flopping onto her throne in a huff.
Sunset Shimmer, your majesty. And if you're not satisfied with the only alicorns in the land, then perhaps another bride would be better suited for your son?
So who is
Someone
the
in
son?
his own species?
Sunset said, glancing over at the prince who was dreamily looking out the window with his tongue hanging out the side of his mouth. He was a dragon, though an oddly proportioned one at that, and never seemed
That's the
to
prince!
quite understand anything that was going on around him. He never spoke, but instead made odd gurgling noises and the occasional shriek. The queen laughed dismissively, twirling her crown in her claw and holding a twily cane in her paw.
So, of course.
How absurd, Twinkle Glimmer. My son deserves only the best. And besides, pony hybrid babies are all the rage.
Sunset shuddered at the thought.
Okay.
Isn't that right, son? See? Clear as day.
Right.
Sorry.
Well, I suppose if we expanded
I
our
approve
search
highly that
beyond our
Sunset is in the
borders,
story in the first
we might
place.
be able to find another Alicorn to your liking, Your Majesty.
Sunset started, but was cut off when a loud knocking
So who's it going
could
to
heard
be?
from the front door.
Whoever could it be at this hour?
Sunset Shimmer raised an eyebrow in confusion and looked out a nearby window to see that it was still daylight. A perfectly
Goodness, she's a
reasonable
horse.
hour for visitors. However,
That's
with
so
a snap of the
surprising.
queen's claw, the sun disappeared from the sky and was rapidly replaced by the moon. In addition,
Of course.
she magicked a series of storm clouds that began to rain, with the droplets falling backwards from the ground to the sky.
I
Whoever
noticed that
was
the
outside
animation
door
does that as
screamed out
well.
in surprise. Sunset quickly opened the large double doors to
What's
save
this?
their guest from the queen's chaotic magic. A striking purple unicorn mare wearing a long dark cloak covered in rainwater was shivering on the front steps.
Sorry for the intrusion. My name is Starlight Glimmer. I was separated from my friends in a series
Starlight!
of strange occurrences that seemed to happen rather suddenly once I entered this kingdom.
She said, trailing off when the pair of ponies spied a quesadilla monster chase down a purple alicorn, who screamed in distress in the background, followed
So
by
cheesy.
a flock of flying bananas who honked like geese as they attempted to get out of the rain.
That happens around here more than
Alright.
you think. You'd better come in.
I don't know if it would be
Not that
fun or
it's much
terrifying
better
to live in a
inside
country
the
like that.
castle.
Who is it?
I love the changes
Sparkle
between art
Surprise?
styles. It's very good.
The queen asked nonchalantly. She teleported out of her throne and next to the visitor.
Starlight Glimmer, Your Majesty.
Another one? How many versions of you Twilight, Starlight, Shimmering Glitter Sparkles are out there? And they call me the crazy one. So, Nightlight
Look, you can call it
Sprinkles,
crazy
are
the day
you
that-
supposed to be the next Alicorn on the list?
Alicorn? I'm not a...
The mare started, but when the queen pulled her cloak away, sure enough, there were a pair of wings tucked in at her sides.
What the...
What?
Where did these come from?
Oh, come now, as if we all didn't see this coming. Princess Do-Goody got her wings in a one-part mid-season finale. Shimmy Sham here got hers in a music video.
A very good
You're
music
Twilight
video.
3.0. It's only a matter of time. I'm just speeding up the process.
I think there's been a big mistake. I just needed a place to stay the night until the storm passed. I'm a unicorn, I swear. I don't know how I got these.
Starlight said in exasperation, flailing her wings about, unsure how
What are these?
We shall see.
the queen said, stroking her beard in contemplation.
Come,
Her
come,
beard.
my dear. Warm your hooves by the fire while my trusty assistant and I prepare your
What's the
room
tentacle?
for the evening.
The
And
queen
why is it
picked
slimy?
Starlight up from the floor and swept her into the den. Soon after, the queen returned again with the prince in tow, plopping him beside her and pushing the pair of them together.
You best get acquainted, you know, in case this all works out.
The queen said, before teleporting
What's it?
away with Sunset
Capital
Shimmer.
H and small
Before
h?
all what works out? What is going on?
Starlight
I'm
asked,
too
in a
distracted
mixture
by the
of
background.
Confusion and anger. She looked up at the prince and her eyes widened. She'd never seen a dragon or any creature as unique and intimidating as him. Starlight chuckled awkwardly, taking a step away from him. The prince responded by scooting closer. She took another step away, and the prince leaned his head down to her level, staring intently at her while she chuckled nervously.
I
That
should
is-
have stayed outside.
Scary.
Meanwhile, the queen and Sunset Shimmer were preparing a room for Starlight for the evening.
It's supposed to be so.
I need a
Looks
test.
like a donkey.
One that will prove
Donkey.
she is a true Alicorn. But what could it be?
The queen said, pacing back and forth while Sunset fluffed the pillows on the bed with her magic.
Why does it matter that the pony be an Alicorn again?
Oh, because every pony knows that every Alicorn is a princess, and I must have a true princess to wed my
Then what about
son.
Ashley H?
Then-
Sorry.
You're really just
Eleor-
looking for a
and
princess,
Elia.
right? Can't you tell if some pony is a princess if they have a kingdom to rule? Maybe some pony subjects that could vouch for.
Silly twinkly starshine. Any princess can have a crown, a kingdom, a scepter, adoring crowds, and servants to cater to their every need. That doesn't make them a true princess.
Then what does?
No, what makes them a true princess is passing a ridiculous test that no other pony could ever possibly hope to pass. I've got it!
The queen said, snapping her claw and producing a tiny green pea with her magic.
What's that for?
Oh, you ponies, so oblivious to the obvious. This, my dear, is the test. I shall put this tiny pea under the mattress, and if she is a true Alicorn princess, then she will feel the pea and won't sleep a wink. Princesses are sensitive, more so than other ponies. You reach the tiniest bit of chaos and their little feelings get hurt, so they turn you to stone. Sensitivity like that can only come from a privileged Alicorn.
Not even a bit salty yourself,
The
eh,
queen
Discord?
deduced. She lifted the mattress and placed the pea in the center of the frame before lowering it down again. The queen pursed her lips and looked at the bed quizzically.
Any old ordinary Alicorn could feel a pea under just one mattress.
So let's have 100.
I know. Let's make it 100.
The queen said in delight, snapping her claw and piling one mattress on top of the other.
I said that as a joke! I said that as a joke!
In another snap of the claw, the bed had 50 new blankets on top of the highest mattress.
Oh
The bed
my
was so
god!
massive that the tower had to extend to accommodate for its size.
Oh, now its camera
and
is
Sunset Shimmer
weird.
Looked at it in complete confusion.
Oh my god.
So, you want the cold, wet, and exhausted potential princess to have a terrible night of no sleep because that will
Oh, my
somehow
goodness.
persuade her to stay and marry the prince.
Oh, yes. A true princess will see this bed and won't think anything is strange.
Really?
But she'll still feel the influence of a tiny vegetable under the bottom mattress and not be able to sleep. That's right, kids. Your fairy tales make about as much sense as I do.
Yeah.
I couldn't have written a more ridiculous premise than this if I tried.
Yeah, those old fairy tales
A little
were
while
very
later,
weird
the
when you
queen
really
escorted
thought
Starlight
about
to
it.
her room. She took one look inside and her
Damn, I
heart
hate my
dropped,
camera, it's like
eyes
this.
widening in shock. It was the precarious nature to which the mattresses were piled and the overall height of the bed. One wrong move and it looked like it would topple over.
There you go,
Right.
dear.
Okay, that didn't
a
work.
Nice
All right,
soft
I'll just go
bed
with it.
for you to sleep in.
Oh, you shouldn't have.
Now, up you go for a good night's sleep.
I know I never mentioned this, as it wasn't particularly relevant until now, but I'm terrified of heights. Are you sure there isn't another bed somewhere safer?
Starlight asked, shaking on her hooves. The queen merely
I
laughed
can
and
imagine.
teleported Starlight to the top of the bed monstrosity.
That's a good one, Sunshine Sprinkles. Imagine
Just
that,
getting all of the
an
names wrong.
Alicorn afraid of heights. What will these ponies think of next?
I am not an alicorn!
Starlight started, but the queen was gone
Hey,
long
Mike, I
before
can
she
see
could
your
finish
picture.
her sentence. Starlight immediately grasped onto the giant bedpost for dear life.
It sounded like the narrator said
wasn't
she
sure how it was
grasped.
possible, but it seemed like she was
She
holding
grasped
the
onto
feet
the
in the air
pillow.
whenever she dared to look over the side. She attempted to ignite her horn and get back on solid ground, but the sheer altitude from atop the bed had shorted her magic. She was truly stuck.
Okay, Starlight, you can do this. You've been through worse. You faced a hive of changelings, a shadow pony, Pinkie Pie on a sugar bender. You can handle this.
So this
is nothing.
was made after season
that?
7.
That can't be good. That can't be good. That can't be good. Oh, what would Twilight do? Think, Starlight, think. Maybe I can fly off. No, that's crazy. I don't even know if these wings are real. I don't know if any of this is real. Some pony, help!
Why is there a giant eye in the wall? That must be that must be intrusion of privacy.
The next morning, the Queen and the Prince eagerly awaited to see if their Alicorn
Pictures.
guest had slept through the night. Sunset Shimmer was sent to retrieve
like
her from her room around
profiles
breakfast
and
time,
cards.
and when she returned, Starlight Glimmer was with her, and looked simply dreadful. She had deep bags under her eyes, her mane
Crackle's
was
special
messed,
chair
and her
and Discord's
pupils
listening
were
in
as
that.
small as
Sitting in that.
pinpricks. She was crouched close to the ground like she never wanted to be apart from it ever again.
Ooh, why this is promising, I must say. Tell me, Sky Sparklers, did you sleep well?
Sleep? I didn't sleep at all.
Starlight said, choking
Jesus.
on her words, her tone still tinged with terror.
You passed!
The Queen exclaimed, pulling on a cord that appeared beside her head, which released a series of balloons,
Not for the
confetti,
reason you
and a banner
think.
with the Queen's picture giving a thumbs
my
up and the
goodness.
printed words, "You did it," in bold letters. As the confetti fell, the prince stuck out his tongue and let one of the pieces delicately land on his tongue before eating it.
Passed? Passed what?
The test to see if you truly were an Alicorn princess worthy enough to marry the prince, of course. I hid a pea under all the mattresses, knowing that only a true Alicorn princess would be sensitive enough to feel it, and therefore be too uncomfortable to sleep. At long last, my son can finally settle down with a pony worthy of making me hybrid grandbabies.
The prince was suddenly at Starlight's side, his long tongue licking up the side of her
Ah.
face, causing her to immediately go rigid. She stood silent and still, the only movement coming from the twitch of her eye.
Oh boy, here it comes.
Sunset said, backing away in anticipation.
Are you kidding me? You were testing me? I didn't feel a pea. I was clinging onto the bedpost for dear life. How many mattresses did you pile on that bed? There was no additional support. The entire thing wobbled all night. I was sure it was going to fall. It was so high, it shorted out my magic. And I am not an Alicorn. I don't know why I have these wings, but I certainly can't fly with them. I was awake in sheer terror all night. What kind of pony, Alicorn or not, would want to marry some pony who put them in danger for a stupid test? I'm out of here!
No.
Thank you, Starlight.
I was so sure you were the right Twilight parody for the job. I guess you were supposed to be the Alicorn all along, Shimmy Shine.
The Queen said, snapping her claw and taking away Starlight's wings, only to give them to Sunset Shimmer instead.
Holy crap.
Starlight didn't hesitate, bolting out the door
It's
once
a
she was made a
freedom.
unicorn again.
Free! I'm free!
Sunset Shimmer
Poor
started,
Sunset.
inspecting her wings in bewilderment. As she did so, the prince's face inched closer and closer to hers.
Ah.
True love conquers all.
Wait, I didn't sign up for
The end.
Really?
Oh dear.
Oh, what's this? Aren't they supposed to be asleep? Oh, how do you turn this thing off?
Well, Discord, your story was interesting, but it could be quite scary.
Scary? What on earth are you talking about? My story was flawless.
Oh, really?
Well, there was a killer quesadilla and terrifying heights, and not to mention a dragon. Maybe the babies were a bit too frightened to fall asleep.
I think so, yeah.
Fluttershy?
Oh, Pinkie!
What's going on? Discord! What are you? What are you doing here?
That was adorable.
Pinkie Pie, you look just awful. What are you doing out of bed? Pound and Pumpkin's crying woke me up. What did he do this time? I'm so sorry. I think Discord's story might have frightened Pound and Pumpkin. Maybe just a little.
Just a little.
Everybody's still a critic, I see. There was nothing at all wrong with the story I told. I can't help it if you ponies have bad taste in comedy.
Move over. I'll tell them a real story. Pinkie Pie, you're too sick. I'll tell the twins a story to get them to go to sleep. Would you like that, Pound and Pumpkin?
Oh.
Aw, a sweet story by you should do just the trick,
Yeah.
Fluttershy.
Oh, now see here. When Fluttershy said I could take over story time based upon Pinkie Pie's sudden ailments, she theoretically signed a verbal contract dictating that all stories therein must be told and performed by the one and only Draconicus Lord of Chaos, Discord,
Oh, really? Did she now?
etc. Any breach of said hypothetical contract gives all licensing rights to the series Pinkie Tales to Discord, which will promptly be renamed Chaos Tales and undergo an aggressive rebranding.
Discord? If you wanted another chance, all you had
wait.
to do was ask.
Have I done it reverse by accident?
Fluttershy, do you really expect the Discord to tell the twins a sweet story?
Oh, you want sweet? I'll give you downright sappy.
Oh dear.
Once upon a time.
But if I have accidentally done the series in reverse, then I'm
In the magical
worried.
land of Horsequestria, there lived a lovely
Hey, Lost.
queen and a particularly picky prince. The queen, Horsemom, had tried for years to find the right princess for her son to wed. However, the prince would only accept the best and truest princess to be his bride. Thus far, no princesses had won his favor.
I, the perfectly boring, correct-gendered prince, must have the perfect princess for my bride. Oh, are you quite sure we have to start this one from the beginning? Already bored.
Hold on. How come this is the first time you've actually interrupted your own story? And why did you drag me here again to narrate? That first narrator sounded perfectly fine to me.
Yeah.
There was no first narrator. That was me. I can do all sorts of things to my voice.
Change it.
Throw it. Add unnecessary audio effects. I figured if these were called Discord tales, they might as well be narrated by Discord. But that's not the way Pinkie wants it. So, here we are. Predictable, I know. And seeing how Pinkie scared away all the other narrators, you were our unlucky winner.
She scared all
You
of them
narrated
away.
it. That's not what the name says in the credits, Discord. Narrator 1 is chaotic. Chaotic. I get it. I get it. So the Great Lord of Chaos is mimicking narrators now. Great.
A bad pun I surely couldn't pass by. Especially since puns are what the Pinkie Tales franchise is built upon.
Which I am very much excited
Isn't
to
this the part where you
experience.
narrators insist on getting back to the story, no matter how dull they may be?
Fine.
Where was I? Oh, yes. How will I ever find one to suit me, Mother?
Horsemom
Calling
frowned
Celestia
and pulled
mother.
her son into a sappy and
Oh,
cootie-filled
dear.
hug to comfort him. As she did so, they heard a knock at the door.
Who could that be? It's pouring normal rain outside at the appropriately inappropriate hour of the night.
Horsemom
It's
asked,
pouring normal
opening the
rain
door to
outside.
her own castle for some reason, as there didn't seem to be many servants around. On the doorstep before her was a small yellow pony with a pink soft mane, drenched in mud and water.
Ah, so this is a Fluttercore story, is it? I suppose it can't be a Dyslestia one, since she's playing the
Oh,
role of the
Sunlestia would be
queen.
most displeased.
You're going to do this the entire story, aren't you?
Oh, don't pretend you don't love it.
Ha.
You know you want me, baby. Something tells me someone's going to get angry at me for using that phrase without permission.
Uh-huh.
Mag owes me so much for this. The pony had big, wavering anime eyes and a quiver in her lip.
Forgive my intrusion, dear queen, but I am a princess, even though I'm just a Pegasus, and I have been tragically separated from my servants on a long, perilous journey. Might I come in and spend the night away from the storm?
The princess asked, as the music in the background became louder, while the camera panned over to Horsemom, who you could tell was sympathetic by the tragically sad look on her face.
Of course, dear. Come in.
Oh, I
You are
like
a
this.
Princess, you say.
I am Princess Waifu-Shy. Thank you for your hospitality.
Waifu shy.
You like that one? Came up with the name myself. I know how much the fans
Pinkie.
love a good ship.
Pinkie Pie?
What?
Just kidding. It's still me.
Is Pinkie Tails all like this?
Discord! Are you really that bored? Or are you just trying to make it your mission to tick me off?
Oh, it's just killing you, isn't it? Can't say bad words in front of the little ones. This is Magpie Pony's channel, after all.
Oh dear.
Waifu-Shy curtsied, and the prince begrudgingly returned
can't
the
get over
gesture
that name.
before turning to his mother.
How are we to know that she is
I forgot to say this so far, but the art, all of the different styles, has been amazing.
It could have been any pony off the streets pretending to be a waifu.
The prince said, like the picky little brat he was.
No comments.
Oh, I'm sorry. If you want, I could just go.
What the hearts in their
Nonsense.
eyes.
Come, child.
I
Warm
love
yourself
Celestia's
by the
mane.
fire,
Looks so
While
good.
my son and I prepare you a room.
Insert predictable
Horse
meme
Mom
here.
said, ushering the poor filly towards the cracking but otherwise boring fireplace. The prince, still skeptical, followed his mother from the room.
Patience, my dear. For I know of a test that will prove if this mare is indeed
So how will
a
they
true
make sense of
princess
this?
your liking.
That's not the only requirement I have, you know. She must also sound lyrical, laugh at my jokes, be exceedingly beautiful. Although, let's be honest, none can exceed my own beauty. Oh, and I almost forgot, she absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, must be perfect in every way.
All of these things will be made clear by my test.
I think you just enjoy testing your subjects, don't you, Queenie Sunbutt? Oh, wait, I mean mother.
The queen instructed several servants to meet her and the prince
goodness.
in the highest room of the tallest tower.
So they're
with
going to try and make
exactly
sense of it?
20 downy mattresses, 20 quilted blankets, and a small green pea. She knew that only a real princess would be sensitive enough to feel the little pea under all the mattresses and blankets. And if she was a real princess, then she would be the one for her son. For the love of Discord!
Oh, Discord.
Oh, it's you. Wake me when this story is over, will you? Now I know why you use these to get the twins to sleep.
That is the point.
You're making this so difficult! Flutter's Waifu-Shy was escorted to the tower shortly
A part of me
after the
wonders
room
if
was
that was
completed.
like in the
When
script
she was
or a
ushered
blooper they
inside,
left
she
in, because
looked
I can imagine
confused,
either one.
But didn't speak up at the strange sleeping arrangements. She thanked the queen and prince and retired for the evening.
Why is it Fluttershy gets to go to sleep in this story, but I can't take a nap?
I thought it was Waifu-Shy. Can't you keep your character straight?
Well, with enough interruptions, can you?
You are so lucky I am on Mag's channel right now.
Yeah,
The next
otherwise
morning,
she would cuss
the
him
queen
out.
and the prince eagerly awaited Waifu-Shy at breakfast.
That
to
attire
see the
looks so
outcome
freaking
of the
familiar.
test. When she arrived, she looked
Star
much
Wars?
more put together than the night
I
before.
think that's Star Wars.
Though she did yawn quite loudly as she was seated.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just a bit tired.
Oh? How did you sleep, my dear?
Waifu-Shy wasn't sure how to answer that question. She hadn't had any sleep at all thanks to the tiny pea under the mattresses. But she didn't want to admit to the queen that she wasn't the perfect hostess to visiting royalty. She presumed that a little white lie might be better than offending the queen. After
narrator.
all, princesses were taught to
narrator.
be kind and bite their tongues when something...
Hey, bada, hey.
What?
How have you been? You seem tense.
You know what? You know what? I am done. I don't care. I don't care what this is Mag's channel.
Oh.
Well, it seems I've lost the narrator.
I have been trying so hard not to come up with a lost pun
to
myself.
This
Damn it.
boring story, I say the end. Maybe they didn't hear me.
You're a horrible filly sitter.
The end. The end. The end.
I don't think that's going to work, Discord.
That would work perfectly fine on Pinkie Pie.
Ah, Pinkie. Poor dear. I wanna hug her mane. I wanna hug all their manes, except for Discord.
What, pray tell, do you have in
Yes,
mind to make them stop spewing that horrendous noise?
It's not their diapers. They're fed. I know they're tired. I just don't know.
It's the story, isn't it? Not good enough yet. Take 3. Once upon a time.
I like that, like overlapping.
I promised myself I wasn't going to narrate for Discord again. I made that promise, but the real chaotic is missing. Lost is still somewhere reeing into the sunset, and here I am.
Reeing into the sunset.
You know what? I'm gonna narrate this one my way.
Oh my god.
There's this far-off kingdom ruled by this queen of sorts. Only she's a bit of a bohemian, and she has this particular problem. See, she's got this kid that she wants to marry off, but all the neighboring kingdom's princes take one look at her kid and begin to question the actual requirements for being royalty these days, and they go kind of into a mental breakdown. See, her kid's a bit of a sap. You could say she's real stiff. The possibilities of puns are endless here, because she is a tree. I mean, I figured Tree Hugger might try to claim some plant-based life forms somewhere in her ancestry, but she's actually trying to pass this tree Bloomberg off as the princess of her land.
Well, if someone
So
chose
after
her,
some time
it
has
chose
passed,
the
Hippie
tree as a
Mom
princess,
gets to
that
her
would
kid all
stick
upset
out a
because
bit.
She's failed, and she's like,
I am so totally bummed that I haven't found you the right soul partner with whom you can share an eternal bond.
You know what? You're right,
don't
Tree
let
Hugger.
those other princes wreck
By the
your
way,
vibe.
Tree Hugger.
It just means that they aren't princey enough to handle all your positive karma.
We have
but
to
as
get
she's
to the
amping
root
up
of the
those hippie
problem.
stereotypes, there's a suspiciously well-timed knock on their front door.
Salutations and blessings to you, traveler.
What?
Hey there.
No. I can handle Bloomberg and Tree Hugger, but you're making the Prince Featherbangs. It's totally what I said. You know what? I'm not even going to give you the chance to respond, because unlike
Is he
the other
dressed like
narrators
Logan
in
Paul?
this story, I have a pretty accurate sense of the power that I actually wield. So before you go and say something that you and I both know everyone will regret, I'm just going to ignore all these details that you're throwing at me to make me break, and I'm going to push on. So, ha!
I'm from a distant
come on,
kingdom,
Discord.
and I heard you
Leave
were
her
looking for a
alone.
handsome prince to sweep your princess off her hooves.
Actually, she has roots that tie her to our Mother Earth, and disrupting that connection might emotionally and physically scar her. But I can tell that your heart was in the right place. Come in and make
I don't
yourself
even know.
comfortable.
I
think
don't
you'll
know.
find the aura of this place to be quite calming and welcoming.
Yeah, sure, okay. So can I meet her?
She's in the throne room, which is actually made entirely of organic materials. We don't have to disrupt our environment to classify ourselves as royalty.
Oh my
So Justin makes his way towards the princess, and at first he's skeptical, but then he sees his reflection shining back at him from the ripe apples on the princess's branches, and he decides that she's the most beautiful princess he's actually ever met, so he's on board.
This just might be the most attractive tree I've ever seen. I'll totally marry her.
Have to pick up the
That's
fruits of their labor.
righteous, But I'm still not getting
I
a
ain't
clear
stopping!
vibe from you, and I can't let my sapling marry just any pony. I'm sure after some meditation and a good night's sleep,
Why do you
I'll
just watch
have
him
aligned
eat?
my chakras and can make a more clear decision.
Even
I'm
though
sorry,
I
I'm
get the feeling
talking
that
over
Tree
so
Hugger
much.
would be the last pony to make someone pass a test to marry her
Processing.
tree, we're just gonna have to ignore that because reasons. She
Damn
has
it.
a few other ponies bring her a biodegradable, environment-friendly mattress to Justin's room, along with whatever organic vegetable was left over from dinner.
You summoned me, Your Highness.
Oh, righteous, a garden pea. That's exactly what I need. In order to give my eternal blessings for this union, I need to be sure that the prince can sense the emotions of all the earth's bounty. So, I need you to sleep under the mattress. If he can, feel you under there and rescue you, then I'll know he cares for the well-being of every pony.
Oh, well, are you sure one mattress is enough? It might be too easy for him to feel my presence.
Nah, man. There's no need to waste more materials. And I highly doubt more mattresses will emphasize the point of this test.
So after all that exposition dump, Pony Bieber makes his way to the bed, but when he lays on the mattress, he senses what any normal pony would in this given situation. What with a Draconequus-sized vegetable literally lifting it off the ground? Something's not right.
Why doesn't it bend?
I can't seem to get my beauty sleep on this bed.
Ow!
It's like there's something trying to keep me from being my picture-perfect self.
Perhaps he didn't hear me. Ow!
Yeah, I just sense that something's off here.
Now both watches are on one hoof.
Something just doesn't bode.
Are the cake twins asleep yet?
The next morning rolls around and preteen Scream approaches the queen holding a mangled pea in his hoof, and he's like,
So I couldn't sleep very much last night till I discovered this green thing under my mattress.
Ow!
Next time, you might want to check under there before you have visiting royalty.
That's exactly what I was hoping you'd say. I put it under there to test you for some reason, and you passed.
For some reason.
You have my blessings and positive vibes to marry the princess.
I guess the moral of that story is when your in-laws give you a ridiculous test or put you under some undue scrutiny, it's best to just smile and take it, because at the end of the day, even they know it's stupid and unnecessary, but it sure is fun to watch you struggle.
Oh my goodness, that was a lot.
Did it work that time?
I think so. Aren't they just so adorable when they sleep?
Oh.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Diabetes inducing.
Fluttershy looks so What?
No! Wait! I give up!
What's going on in here?
Fluttershy? Discord? What are you two doing here?
Pinkie Pie was too sick to tell the twins a story tonight, so we volunteered to help. But no matter what we tried, they just can't seem to stay asleep.
That's because the twins caught the cold too. Babies are always fussier when they don't feel good.
Didn't Pinkie Pie tell you they were sick?
Nope. Let's just call this payback.
Oh, snap!
I knew Fluttershy would bring you along, Discord, and you wouldn't be able to resist trying to impress her by getting them to sleep, even though that's almost impossible right now.
He was duped.
Oh, you got me, Pinkie Pie.
Something is about to happen, I can feel it.
Don't you ever do this to me.
I knew it! I knew he was going to snap at her. Worth it! Oh my goodness. Oh. That was a trip. Oh my goodness. I spoke over a lot of it. Okay, I'm going to finally fix the fucking camera. Okay, it's better. Okay, so I know I spoke over a lot of it, and I'm very sorry, but I couldn't keep my mouth shut. Hey, Kenzie. Hey, Gina. Hey, people. Hey, Mary Lodi. Yay. Doesn't know what I'm saying. For any drumming, ice skis. Of course. Oh! I have done goofed in the most royal way. Get it? Royal? They were princesses. And now the camera's fine. Now the camera is fine. So yeah, I messed up the freaking chronological order thing so much. It's just when I forgot to check the dates when I checked like the official playlist for the thing, this video was like the top one, so I thought that was the first one. But if I just checked the dates, I would have probably seen that this was not the first one, which have also made sense because apparently these takes a long time to make, and if they had started doing this since the end of season 7, they would have made all of these over like less than a year, and so I screwed up when it came to the chronological order, and I will make sure to get it right next time. But until then, this was a freaking blast. I spoke over a lot of it, and I'm very sorry for that. I probably missed a lot of jokes and stuff like that, but I couldn't keep my mouth shut. But it was a trip. This was so enjoyable to watch. Magpie Pony, if this is like what the entire Pinkie Tales series is like, then I'm so excited to watch the rest of it. I didn't see who did this course voice, but I guess it was chaotic. But no matter what, it was all really good. Everyone did a great performance. All of the art was so pretty, so beautiful. Yeah, it was all just very well put together. Man, it's just... I don't know why, but I feel kinda like... Okay, this is going to sound very weird, and probably just ignore this, but I feel kinda bad that as a voice actor in training, I want to do voice work. As a person who wants to do voice work myself, I do find it a bit strange that I haven't like seen a lot of these fan-made, fan-voiced videos like Pinkie Tales and Princess Trinksy Sparkle, all of those things. I feel weird and maybe even a bit bad about that, even though I say I want to do it. I haven't seen a lot of fan voice work, and I really want to try and remedy that. Again, I don't know if that sounds weird or if it makes sense. It's a rambling. I think I've said everything there is to say. Magpie, if you watch this, I hope you enjoyed my reaction, and I cannot wait to see the rest of it. But, thank you all for so much watching, my dear friends. Please tell me in the comments below what you think about this video, my reaction, and my entire channel in general. Please say both positive and negative, so I can use it all to grow and evolve into a better entertainer for you guys. But as always, my dear friends, thank you all so very much for watching. My name is JohnnyFerno, and I'll see you guys next time.